Good afternoon. My name is Madison Dent, and on behalf of the Warren County 4-H and the Warren County Historical Society and the Tribute to Veterans Memorial Committee, welcome. Today we gather and honor heroes and the heroes that come from all walks of life serve selflessly, concerned more on the needs of others than themselves. Today we honor the best of the best, those men and women who served in the military or as emergency personnel, keeping our country safe both home and abroad. Today we also honor those who have served our country in the past, including those who paid the ultimate price. We also pay tribute to those who lost their lives on 9/11. 23 years ago today, through the war, senselessly acts of terrorism, and times of trouble, we have learned that Americans pull together and stand as one when the country needs it most. At this time, I would like to ask Kinsey Dent and Anthony Elbeck to please come up with me. And if everyone could please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And all 4-Hers will assist in the pledge my life and your country, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better live. My God, my community, my country, my Thank you. On this day, 22 years ago, 2,753 people's lives were lost, including those among perished were 343 New York firefighters, 23 New York City police officers, and 37 officers of the Port Authority. Heroes among heroes. At this time, Dorlin Lee of Camp Ranch 4-H will lead us in a time of reflection to honor those. Thank you, Dorline. At this time, I would like to introduce our guest speaker. Mr. Rubling is a U.S. Air Force veteran and graduated in the 162 section of the FBI National Academy in Virginia. Mr. Rubling has a master's degree in criminal justice and is a 30-year veteran of law enforcement. Having retired from the St. Peter's Police Department at the rank of captain, he is also an associate member of the MLC 1393, a lifetime member in the American Legion, and a member of the VFW Post 2101. Please help me in welcoming our guest speaker, Gary Rubling.
About 14 years ago, this tribute to veterans is the essence of the American spirit, a dream, an idea, a vision. As you can probably imagine, the design changed significantly, and so did the location. With persistence, hard work, and determination from a handful of our veterans, residents, and providers, we celebrate our accomplishments by admiring this remembrance of the 72 souls whose names are carved into the granite wall. I'd like to recognize those committee members, past and present, who are responsible for the maintenance and care of this Warren County gem. If you're able, please hold up your hands and let everybody see who you are, members of the committee. Thank you for your hard work. I would ask that as you mingle this afternoon, shake a hand and thank these folks for their commitment. We hope you'll excuse the ugliness of our construction. What has been labeled the Charters of Freedom will soon be ready to admire. Full-size facsimiles of the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence will adorn the landscape of the tribute. This is an attraction all can admire. Everybody hear me okay? I'm humbled by the invitation to speak to you today. As a youngster, I was involved in 4-H, but I had to refresh my memory a little bit. And I learned that 4-H originated in the 1900s as the 4-H's head, heart, hands, health seek to promote positive youth development, facilitate learning, and engage youth in the work of their community to enhance the quality of life. I'm happy to be here to thank the local 4-Hers for their work and dedication to further beautify our own tribute to veterans, and more specifically, help honor the 72 troops from Warren County who made the ultimate sacrifice during combat since World War I, defending our freedom. Those names appear on the granite wall. I'm not a famous person, I'm not a war hero. I assure you, I've served with some of the best, and I've lost dear friends in the line of duty. I address you today simply as a military veteran and a retired police officer. I want you to leave here today walking a little taller. I want you to be a little prouder of your heritage and proud to be an American. What happened to all the American flags that were flying on cars and front porches on September 12th, 22 years ago? The couldn't find an American flag anywhere for months following 9/11. I'd like for you to pick up a couple of American flags on your way home today or within the next couple of days and consider putting one in your car or your front porch. I want you to consider the term patriot. I want you to study its ramifications and justify your membership. I'll remind you now that your pursuit of happiness is guaranteed in writing by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence. I bleed red, white, and blue, and it's a wonderful feeling to be in the greatest country on the planet. Ours is a free and open society, so we often take our liberties for granted. The rights and opportunities afforded us by the Constitution are fragile. Freedom is definitely not free. They must be defended at every juncture and at every cost. We'll be drawing lessons for decades from 9/11/01. These things we do know. Government does matter, and we're better united than divided. I believe in good and evil. 22 years ago today, bent on destroying our nation and our freedom, the forces of evil came to our land, lived among us, flew on our planes, and flew into our buildings, killing thousands, most of those our fellow Americans. As a principle of my personal faith, I believe that good will ultimately always prevail over evil. I believe America is an innately good nation, and we are inherently good people. How dare they try to destroy us? 9/11/01 will live in our memories for a long time. As I look back, I wonder what we stood for in those early morning hours 22 years ago and what we stand for today. It's pretty clear what our first responders stood for. Over 400 of our first responders perished at the World Trade Center trying to save those targeted in the attack. Hundreds more persevered under the most difficult, dangerous, and heart-wrenching circumstances. It gives us an insight into the character of those who join us here today. There's no danger like that from an unknown. We ask these men and women to protect us, to serve us, to save us, to be the sheepdogs keeping the wolves away. I ask you to stop and think of how little they ask of us. Imagine the chaos of the World Trade Center and the Pentagon following the attacks. Who would be brave enough to face that inferno and charge into the death and destruction, leading only to head off further death and destruction? Those here with us today would, I bet on. So what is it we're defending, this republic for which it stands? The America we love is more than a place on a map. It's an idea manifested in its people. I heard a college student not too long ago complain when the draft was being discussed. He made the comment that his plans did not include military service. I wonder if the 72 souls whose names are on this wall had plans. I'm sure the first responders who perished in the World Trade Center and the Pentagon had plans. We should not rest until the life of every American killed on 9/11/01 is avenged by bringing attackers to justice, American justice. With our diversity comes strength as a nation. All may speak and the will of the majority may be heard. We live in a country where we don't have to see your point, but you're free to have one. You don't have to listen to my speech, but I'm free to give it. We don't live in America. America lives in us. We are America. We may disagree, but we live under the same flag. Those beautiful colors have become such a symbol of freedom to the world. The same flag that was raised in the rubble of the World Trade Center as a sign to those who thought they could destroy this nation so easily. America's only as strong as its people. We are the caretakers of all that our forefathers created and fought for. It's our watch, folks. It's time for us to stand on the wall and preserve those precious freedoms that we have too long taken for granted. The question then is not where were you on 9/11/01, but where are you today? Parents, I would plead that you teach your children well the value, the glory, the greatness of America. We represent the freedom that so many people on this earth seek, but so few can really understand this nation. We're a two-edged sword, unified but full of disagreement. We exercise capitalistic greed frequently, yet we've been the most gracious humanitarian nation on earth. We are the high-tech of Silicon Valley and the heartland of the Midwest. We're an impatient people, yet tremendously resilient in difficult times. With all our faults, warts and all, we're still the greatest nation on earth. From the Declaration of Independence and the Monroe Doctrine to Disneyland and Donald Duck, we are the battleship Missouri pounding enemy shores, flying the stars and stripes, to Mickey Mantle and pinstripes pounding American League pitching. John Philip Sousa to Elvis Presley. We are Mark Twain and Microsoft. Charles Lindbergh in Paris to Charlie Brown and Peanuts. We are a nation that went from Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, to Tranquility Base on the moon in less than 70 years. We are where everyone wants to be. Who can really understand the greatness of America unless they've lived it? I'm proud to be an American, a military veteran, a first responder. When you lay your head on your pillow tonight, I suggest that you thank God for the blood of heroes. Thank you.
Now you gotta watch out. Gary needs to have something a little louder than what you did. Come on, let's say something. Wake up! Hoorah!
Thank you, Gary. As 4-H members, we strive to build relationships and serve our community. And today's ceremony, in partnership with the Historical Society and the Tribute to Veterans and Memorial Committee, is not only a new relationship, but one that will serve and strengthen our community going forward. So thank you. Also, among these relationships that are important to our community is that with our community commissioners today, we reflect on the past. We invite our county commissioners, Joe Guildhouse, Matt Blake, Tom Meyer, to help us look forward to by saying a few words and declaring the beginning of a new 4-H year.
Gary, thank you so much. Like you said there, I mean, there's nothing else I can say but thanks to the veterans and the first responders. There's several books out there that everybody read over the years about what happened on 9/11, and there's one that I read that came to mind, and it says, I may never know the answer to the questions that plagued me after the attack on 9/11, but I know if we lean to God and lean on each other, we'll be guided in a better, brighter future. And that came from a 9/11 survivor, my kids. So I think if we can live by that, we can get a lot more done. Thank you.
Thank you to our commissioners, and thank you all for coming together today to honor our heroes. As we leave today, we invite each one of you to join us at the Schillingert House at 308 Boone Slicks Road for a garden party reception until dark. There will be live music as well as ice cream and soft drinks. Again, thank you all for coming. We hope to see you there. Also, one more thing, if any of you would be able to fill out a survey about our event we've had, it would be very interesting. And we have some proclamation signing fee. Could all 4-Hers come forward?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
See you later.
You bet. Absolutely. Oh,